Cuerito Relleno de Arroz, mofongo, or any other thing. Apparently, it's the new trend in Puerto Rico. So let's make it, shall we? Welcome to my workshop. About a week and a half ago, a dear friend of mine that I've known for many years called me and asked me if I knew anything about this Cuerito Relleno that is trending in Puerto Rico. It's going crazy. People are really liking it. I have not heard about it. She asked me to look it up and see what I thought, and I did. And it looks a lot like the cojín lechona that they make in Colombia. So we're gonna make our version of it. So let's get to it. The first thing you need to do when you're making this dish is find the pork skin. You can probably find it in any Mexican market or in any butcher shop. There might be a few different types. There's one that has a little bit of meat. It almost looks like a pork belly. And there's another one that is just the skin and it's pretty clean. Like this one right here. Just had a little bit of fat around that we trimmed out. So the first thing that we did was we rinsed it, we washed it with a little bit of vinegar, and then dried it out. Then we seasoned it with our adobo and a little salt and pepper and put it in the fridge for about 12 hours. In the meantime, when that's happening, we cooked our arroz con gandules. You can stuff it with arroz con gandules, you can stuff it with mamposteado, you can stuff it with mofongo, you can stuff it with con gris, whatever type of stuffing you like, you're welcome to do it. So once this cuerito has been in the fridge for overnight, we pull it out and then we dry it with a paper towel. The most important thing to make anything crispy is to make sure there's not water in it. So the salt actually took a little bit of the water. We pat it dry, make sure that it's dry inside and out. And now I'm just gonna flip it, make sure that I find a spot in the skin that I can make a little envelope or a sleeve, and then the rest I'm just gonna trim out and make a perfect sleeve here. The rest of this we are gonna cut and make chicharrones with. So now that I have the perfect sleeve, I had ordered a needle, a butcher's needle, but it didn't come in time for this video. So I'm just gonna grab my knife and put a little slit in the skin so I can tie it up. You can do it this way, or you can just tie it with going around. It will be a little bit more difficult to tie it that way, but you can do it also. So I'm just gonna go this side, make the slits, and just tie it. It's kind of hard to put the twine in there. I'm using the chopstick, and it's kind of tedious, but it's necessary. Perfect timing. Amazon just came in, so we're just gonna use the needle that we order. This is not the right one, but it will work. So we're gonna do the long side now, and my son has volunteered to do this side. He kind of enjoyed what I was doing. It's kind of satisfying actually. So we're just gonna go ahead and tie the rest of the long side of the envelope or the sleeve and get ready to stuff it. While that's happening, we also gonna grab our pork that we have here. Is a piece of pernil that I cut lengthwise, and it's been seasoned since last night, and we are going to go ahead and pan fry it. We're not gonna make sure that it's completely cooked. We just want to brown it a little bit and make sure that both sides are brown and sealed, because we don't want to put the raw pork inside with the rice. So after we do this, we are going to let it cool for a little bit. Again, we don't want to put this hot pork with the cold rice. It just doesn't work. Okay, so now that we have the cool pork and the rice, and we have sewn the sleeve, we're gonna put it inside out like you were doing when you are putting a sock on. You're gonna do that halfway, and you're gonna add your meat first in the bottom, and then start stuffing with the rice. We don't want to do it too tight, because remember that the skin is gonna shrink in the oven. So if we do it too tight, then it's gonna break. So let's just start stuffing the rice or whatever you are using. Once you get almost halfway, open it up completely, and now you want to do the slits on the last part of the sleeve that is open, because you don't want to wait until everything's stuffed to try to do the holes or try to sew it, because it's going to be messy and difficult. So you do that now, and then you put the rest of your pork and add the rest of the rice that fits in there. While you're doing it, you want to kind of stand it up and hit it to make sure that everything is in there again, it's nice and tight, but not extremely tight. You're gonna fill it up to the point that you can join the two sides of the top, and you can sew the rest or the last part of the sleeve. This part is the most difficult. It took us about 40 minutes to do this. And I know it's the first one. We were trying different things, so that into account is still a long time. So it's time consuming. It's fun if you have kids and they want to do it, because it's kind of satisfying to do this sewing and put the rice in. And once everything is in, it's tight, you're gonna put the long seam down. Then you're gonna grab some olive oil, put it all over the skin, not a whole lot, and let it rest for about 5-10 minutes. And then we're gonna put it in a 365-degree oven, and we're gonna go for about 2.5 hours. My oven has a fan. If you don't have a fan, you probably be about 3 hours. About 3 hour mark or 2.5 hour mark, pull it out, look into it, and turn it a little bit if you need to, because if it hasn't crisped up on the bottom, then just turn it and put it on one side and raise your temperature to about 400 degrees and let it go 15-20 minutes, and do it on the other side too if needed. Mine, it didn't need to. I just put it at 400 degrees, left it another 15-20 minutes. It did not burn. It did not have a burn spot. It was just crispy all over. And look at that. It's gorgeous. It's crispy. It's perfectly seasoned. It's brown all around. It's perfectly cooked. Listen to the skin. All right, so let's cut this cuerito. Like I said before, this is crispy all around. This is not crispy in the middle or on the sides, and not on the bottom. It's crispy everywhere. So I'm gonna cut from the top instead of the middle, and pretty obvious that it's gonna crack because it's very crispy. So even though it cracks a little bit, don't worry about it. Just put it on the plate. Keep cutting them. I started with a serrated knife, and then I finished with a chef knife. Obviously, make sure that the twine you have taken out. That will take you a little bit of time. And then just serve it with your favorite sauce. It can be a nice guava sauce or a tamarind sauce, mojo with cilantro or parsley, garlic. You can do it with a mustard sauce. You can do whatever your creation might be. You can put it around. In my case, I didn't do any sauce because everybody's hungry and they don't want me to make sauce. Everybody wants to try it. I hope you enjoy this recipe. It's fantastic. It's one of the best dishes that I have ever tried. I want to thank my friend because she putting me into this, expanded my knowledge of what to do, maybe in Mother's Day or Christmas or special occasions or any occasion. It tastes fantastic. My kids loved it. I cannot tell you, those plates were completely clean. It was really, really, really flavorful, especially if you season your skin beforehand. Remember that our recipe is in our YouTube channel. It's great to be back after the little hiatus that we took because of COVID. I hope you enjoy this recipe and you try it sometime because it's fantastic. It's really worth the time. Remember to follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I will see you next time. God bless. Ciao.